Hi everybody, Jessie here. I made this card earlier and I've been asked to show people how to do it on Ustream, but I figured I'd film a YouTube on it instead. So this is the card we're going to make. And this is using the Industrial Chic spray set from Lindy's Stamp Gang. So you get Shabby Tuxline Teal, Turbine Teal, sorry. Rusty Lantern Lime. Steampunk Sepia, Steel Shimmer, and Time Travel Teal. So those are the colors we're going to be using. I've also got Black Baker's Twine from, I'm not even sure, but it's Black Baker's Twine, so. Tombow Mono Multi Glue, my ATG gun. Silver embossing powder. This is from Stampendous. I just keep it in there because it's easier to use. I've got this punch from Fiskars, and it will do 3 different butterflies. We're going to use those 2, not the solid. I've got 1 piece of Paper Tray Ink Ocean Mist cardstock. This is perfect color for this. And I've cut it at 4 1/4, scored it at 5 1/2, which will be a top folding card. I have a piece of black basil cardstock, and it is cut at 4 by 5. And I have 2 pieces of Tim Holtz watercolor cardstock. One will leave solid, the other one I'm going to punch. So I'm going to punch 3 of each of the butterflies I want. And I'm doing this in real time, I'm not going to speed it up or anything, so. Okay, let me just wipe away all of my little bits here. Okay. So I've got that. I'm going to grab my spray box. Start with that piece. Just give it a second here so I move a couple of things. I got stuff falling. Okay. Now first I'm going to spray it with, where's the other one? This one. So I'm going to use the Steampunk Sepia and the Shabby Turbine Teal first. So I'm just going to shake those up really well. They'd okay. I just want to make sure everything is covered. Grab my Ranger heat tool, and we're going to dry it. And I will start moving it. I'm just going to start drying in the middle first. Okay, and then I'm just going to rock it back and forth and let the colors kind of mix and meld here. And this takes a few minutes because I gotta dry it all the way. Oops. And I do trim this down after, so. Okay, so that's the first layer. It's really pretty. There, you guys can pick up the shine. Now I'm going to take find my paper towel to wipe the ink off my hand. This is the Steel Shimmer. This thing is amazing, you guys. It seriously makes the paper look like steel. Like it's simply fantastic. And don't be afraid to use it. I don't know if you guys can pick up how cool that looks as it's landing on there, but and we'll start to dry it. Okay. And as it dries, we're going to twist and turn and let it droop and fall. And the more you move it while it's drying, the more real the look of the steel gets. Pardon my arm twisting and being in the way, I'm just kind of... And it's not going to be identical to this one, of course, because it sprays and they just won't be the same twice. Which is part of the fascination I have with them. And I'm going to make sure it's good and dry this time. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in my first set of 3 punched butterflies, so they're the ones with all the holes in them. There it is. And on this one I'm going to use the Rusty Lantern Lime and the Time Travel Teal. So I'm going to shake both of those up really well. I'm just being a little more careful because I want both colors on there, not just the one. Okay, now just let them soak in for a second here. There we go. And now I'm going to pull the color off of them. So dab it with my paper towel and then dry them. And I'm just going to set those off to the side as I dry them. I'm not making sure they're completely dry because it's going to be a few minutes till I get to them. But I want to start the process. Okay. And then for the other 3, I am going to spray them with the Steampunk Sepia. And I'm going to put lots on there. No shortage of sprays on those bad boys. And I'm going to dry them right from there, and I'm going to leave all of the spray on them because I like the effect it gives. Sorry. And as these ones dry, I'm going to pull them out of the way again. It doesn't take too terribly long. I mean, a couple of minutes, because I did put a ton of spray on the watercolor paper. Almost. Come on. There you go. Okay. Whoops. Off the side as well. I'm going to grab my Ranger craft mat, if I can get this, just to kind of keep the mess down. I'm going to take this and I'm going to trim it now. And I'm going to trim off of all sides so that they all don't have, so that I don't end up with one with the heavy spot of the color from where I was rotating it. So it's going to end up being 4 1/8 by, or no, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, pardon me. So we get to there. And then I'm going to grab my Black Soot Distress ink, and I would like my blending foam, or my blender, whatever, for the foam. I'm still throwing stuff all over. That's alright. Okay, now I'm going to come in and I'm going to just on the edges, just to make it look a little dirty. I like that, so. Set that one off to the side, and I'm going to bring in the pieces that I sprayed just with the sepia of my butterflies, and I'm just going to ink the edges of them a little bit. Okay. I could zoom this in a little more as well. I guess I'm kind of far away, sorry about that. Oh look, and I'm blurry as heck. I hope the whole thing wasn't like that. Okay. Let's get this out of the way. Now we'll take these pieces, and I'm going to take all of my butterflies and I'm going to fold up 2 sides of the wings so that the body is flat. I'm going to do that on all 3 of them. And I'm blurry. Oh, of course. Come on now. Sorry about that. Let's hope it stays this time. So I folded them all up, the wings up, so that the body is flat, and then they'll stand. And I'm just going to put a couple dabs of my Tombow up the center of these other butterflies, and I'm going to place this directly on top. They look really, really pretty. Okay. Now I'm going to take this piece And we're going to adhere it onto the black cardstock. And I'm putting lots of adhesive on it because it is watercolor paper. And I did saturate it so it does buckle slightly, and that'll help it flatten back out. So we'll center that on here. And then I just go and I put a little bit of A2G adhesive along the bottom. This video is a mess and I don't know if I'm going to upload it. We'll see. I probably should have started over, but I don't want to. I'm going to wrap that around once, twice, and cut it off. And I tie my bows upside down, because if I tie my bows right side up, they end up looking upside down. If that makes any sense. And then I'm going to take, I have part of it, I thought I had part of a glue dot, maybe not. My glue dots are rather large, so I've just cut them down because I don't need that much adhesive in behind there. So I'm just going to kind of cut a quarter of it off. And roll it up under my finger. Put it on the underside of the bow, that I can meddle with it a little more and glue it down. Okay. They're never perfect when I tie them, and I'm okay with that. Then I'm going to put some foam tape on the back of this. And I'm being very liberal with it. I just don't want it to sag anywhere. As you can see, no shortage of foam tape. Then we will adhere this onto the center of this. See how beautiful this paper tray and paper matches with this set of Lindy's? It's absolutely phenomenal. They look like they were made to go together, seriously. Seriously. Okay, and then I got another piece of black cardstock here, and I have this stamp set from the Stamps of Life. It is called Thanks for 1 Year, so I got it for being a member of the stamp club for 1 year. And I'm going to use this Thanks So Much stamp up top there. Ink it up with my Versamark. Flip it over to the smoother side of the paper. Stamp it. Then take my silver embossing powder. Again, the embossing powder is from Stampendous. And I don't use my Ranger gun to emboss because it takes 55 years. So I'm going to use this embossing tool. Actually, Artie Dar gave it to me because I kill heat guns almost on a daily basis. So we're just going to emboss that. Oh, come on. There we go. Grab my paper trimmer back, because I forgot to cut this piece before we started. Okay, and then I'm just going to eyeball and cut off a little bit off of each end. Run a strip of adhesive behind there. Okay, then I'm going to take my Tombow again and put a few drops on the back of my butterflies. Oops. Yes, you have to give them a minute to dry. Then these enamel dots, they're from the collectible edition from My Mind's Eye, and it's the I'm With enamel dots. And I use my craft knife to help me put these on. Put one of the light ones on either side of the sentiment. Trim my tails off. And there you have it. So, I mean, they're slightly different. I didn't round the corners on this one. The bow's on the opposite side. You know, the butterflies are spaced a little different. The background's always a little bit different. But I really, really like them. So, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye!